Welcome to my Sitecore Diaries, your ultimate guide to digital experience excellence, your go-to channel for all the things in Sitecore, .NET, C#, and anything related to DXP. So this is the video series Debug Your Interview Skill, and this is the second video in the Sitecore interview questions, and we are going to talk about Sitecore XM Cloud related interview question in this video. This is the first part of that. So first part for a Sitecore XM Cloud. So in this series we are going to address few interview questions related to Sitecore. So before starting today's video, if you like this video, please do click on a like button to share this video with your friends and colleagues. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and click on notification bell. So let's start today's video. Let's start with our first question in Sitecore XM Cloud. So before starting with the first question, let me tell you that we already have one complete video series on XM Cloud which I have prepared when I have done my XM Cloud certification. It covers all the basic things which you should be knowing about XM Cloud. I will suggest, if you have not watched that video series, please do watch that, because it will give you a complete knowledge of a basic of a Sitecore XM Cloud. As here we are going to answer the question, but that video series will clear out your all the concept related doubts, or it will give you a clear understanding of the XM Cloud. So let's start with our first question. The first question is, what is Sitecore XM Cloud? Explain the architecture of XM Cloud in the context of composable DXP. So first let's see what is the XM Cloud. So if you want to define the XM Cloud, how can we define it? So XM Cloud is a cloud-based CMS. It's a SaaS product that lets you build the managed website using APIs. So XM Cloud is Sitecore SaaS product which allows you to build the website and manage the website using the REST APIs. It's flexible, easy to scale, and work well with the other tools in the composable setup. So it is compatible with the other composable architecture, composable products. As it is a cloud product, it's a SaaS product, so you will get the advantages of the cloud also. So it's a flexible and easy to scale. So before going into the second part, that I explain the architecture of XM Cloud in the context of composable DXP, I will show you the high level architecture which is I have covered in the series which I have talked about. We have XM Cloud video series where we explain all the concept. I have explained all the concept. So in that video, this is the diagram which I have explained. If you want to go into the detail of this diagram, how it works, I will suggest you to watch that video. So here I will just summarize the things. If you can see, this is the XM Cloud architecture, and it basically what it happens is developers develop the course, and it pushes the GitHub and they push it to the Sitecore managed cloud. Okay, where we have a build and deploy service which builds the code and deploy the data, or deploy the code on the XM Cloud CM instance. You can use a Sitecore CLI for that, or a deploy app for that. And then there is an authoring instance. So the CM instance is basically your authoring instance, so authors can log in on that, and then they can create the content, and that content is get published on the experiences. So Sitecore XM Cloud doesn't have the CD server. Here we have a experience edge. Now the published content can be accessible via the front end by using the GraphQL service or REST API service. Okay, and then the front end app can show that data to the user. That is high level architecture of the XM Cloud. Okay, So if you like to answer it in detail, then what we can say, the first element in the Sitecore XM Cloud architecture is the content authoring layer. So that is basically your CMS itself. So it is hosted on the cloud, and authors create a content using pages. Pages is an application which is basically what you see is what you get editor, and it also has a content editor. The legacy application, legacy interfaces are also available. Then all content is stored and managed centrally, and it is exposed via the APIs. You will get the preview and in context editing capabilities. Also for preview, you use the editing host. You can have a different interfaces available in XM Cloud to perform a different activities by the content editor. So first is the content authoring layer is the first element in the XM Cloud architecture. Then the next element is the experience edge for XM. So we don't have the CD server on the XM Cloud. So instead of that, we have experience edge on the XM Cloud. So experience edge acts as a CDN layer. So if you know what is CDN, then those advantages of CDN will also be available with the experience edge. So it's faster. So it acts as a CDN layer for content, ensuring fast and scalable content delivery. A globally distributed GraphQL content delivery platform. So you can use a GraphQL to get the content from the Sitecore XM Cloud. It can have a distributed environment also. The similar way the CDN works, it enables the decoupled front end. So it completely decouples the front end to fetch a content via APIs. So this is the second element, experience edge for XM in the XM Cloud architecture. The next element in the architecture is the front-end app, that is your presentation layer. So in XM Cloud, the presentation layer is built using any JavaScript framework like Next.js and Angular. It basically utilizes the REST API or GraphQL to get a data from experience edge. It hosted, the hosting platform can be different. You can have a Vercel, Netlify, Azure Static Web API. Different hosting platform can be used to host your front end. So it is a fully headless feature. So front end apps, you have a complete freedom to choose any language. It doesn't matter for Sitecore what front end you are using. So it's a pure your choice which platform do you want to use. So it's a fully headless feature. This is the third layer in our XM Cloud architecture, that is presentation layer. If you move ahead, the fourth one is very important and something different than other products which you might be seen in the Sitecore. So that is DevOps and deployment. So you must be knowing that if you are using XM Cloud has its inbuilt capability of a DevOps, which will help you in the deployment. So XM Cloud provides a support for containers. So you can use a containers. So XM Cloud provides a support for containers. So you can use a containers for your local development. You can use Docker for that. Then you can get help of a Sitecore CLI, of course, for serializing the content and the deployment, and headless SXA for rapid development. So Sitecore CLI and headless SXA enable sites, so it will help you for a rapid development and the deployment. And as I said, XM Cloud has an inbuilt capability or inbuilt support for the DevOps tools. So first, it supports the GitHub Actions, it supports the Azure DevOps pipeline, and many more CI/CD. So DevOps and deployment is very critical architecture in the XM element in the XM Cloud architecture. So it supports the CI/CD tools also. And then now last element is a composable add-ons. So as in the question also asked how it is in the context of a composable DXP. So it supports, XM Cloud is a part of our composable architecture, the Sitecore composable architecture. XM Cloud is basically the content CMS part of your composable architecture. So but if you want to have the personalization, you want to utilize the customer data, then you can utilize a different cloud-based product, cloud-based native product, which can be easily integrated with XM Cloud. Some of them are Sitecore Personalize, Sitecore CDB, Sitecore Send, and Sitecore Search. So these are the few architecture elements in the XM Cloud. One more critical question related to XM Cloud is XM Cloud is basically a subscription based model. So where you will pay annually or monthly based on your uses and selected features. So if you are using only XM Cloud, you are giving the money for only for that. If you are using Sitecore Personalized, that will get added. So whatever the features which you are utilizing, depending on that, you are going to pay it to the Sitecore. Let's move to next question. What are the key architectural differences between Sitecore XP or XM and XM Cloud? So this is one of the most popular question, maybe the first question which might get on the XM Cloud. So what is the difference between Sitecore XP or XM and the XM Cloud? So before going into the differences, let's first of all, high level, we will see what are the features which is available in Sitecore XP, XM and XM Cloud, and then we will differentiate between them. I will not going into the detail. I'm just summarizing those features. So if you talk about XP, it is a web content management. It has a experience DB, XDB. Real-time personalization is available in XP. We have a built-in analytics and reporting. Then we have a marketing automation, email experience manager. It is integration with CRMs and API is possible in XP. Role-based security and permission is available. It has a cloud and on-premise, both the options. When you say a cloud here, it's fast version. It supports CLI, JSS, GraphQL and Docker. When you talk about XM, web content management, multi-site language support, content versioning and workloads, role-based access control, on-premise cloud pass, MVC and SXS support, basic personalization, no XDB or advanced analytics. And then we have a XM Cloud. So XM Cloud, first of all, it supports a headless SaaS. It is a CMS product which is headless. It is fully managed. It has a fully managed cloud platform. It supports a Jamstack and modern front-end architecture. It allows you to get a data from the XM Cloud by using GraphQL. It does also have the Sitecore Headless SDK. We have a visual builder for page design. It has a ready CI/CD with GitHub's and Vercel integration. It allows you for a global CDN because you can use this experience edge, which can allow you to have a distributed delivery environment. Scalable and auto updating platform. Obviously, it's a SaaS one, so you can get a scalable and auto updating platform. Role-based access and secure workflows, no XDB and EXM. Again, we have a major a critical video on the differences between XP, XM, XM Cloud. So complete differentiated video, long video is there, where I have discussed about each and every point. So if you have not watched that video, you can watch that, where we compare XP, XM and XM Cloud for different parameters, and then we have I have talked about how we can select a correct architecture for your application. So if you have not watched that video, I will give that link in the description. You can have a look on that. It's a long video and it's in very detail. So let's continue with our question right now. So what are the key architecture differences between Sitecore XP, XM and XM Cloud? We have seen high level what are the features. Now let's differentiate depending on those features. So when you talk about XP and XM, as we said in the features of XP and XM, that it supports on-premise and the cloud, and that is PaaS. Okay, so XP and XP, so XP or XM supports on-premise or a PaaS. XM Cloud is a fully SaaS-based and is managed by Sitecore. So XP and XM required some manual upgrades, patching and infrastructure scaling, whereas XM Cloud, which is SaaS based, so it can handle on its own. So basically Sitecore handles all the updates, scaling and security here. Then Sitecore XP has a XDB based on personalization. This is the key differences, that when you use XP, you for the personalization, it is XDB based personalization, whereas in XM Cloud you have to utilize two things. Okay, one is a Sitecore CDP to get the customer data, and then utilize that customer data for personalization by using the personalize. So Sitecore personalize. So these are the composable softwares which you need to use with along with XM Cloud for personalization. Then we have a traditional Sitecore CD with caching layer. So XP and XM has a CD, Sitecore CD, which has a caching layer. Okay, we can utilize those caching layers for speed up the application, whereas XM Cloud user experiences, which is nothing but a CDN. Okay, so you can take advantages of the CDN features, and it is more faster. XP XM support MVC and headless architecture, whereas XM Cloud supports the optimized Jamstack architecture for headless. XP XM required manual upgrades are required. So if there is a change in the, or you have got a new Sitecore version, then you need to manually upgrade in the XP and XM. But XM Cloud doesn't need to do that. It always get up to date and no manual updates are required. XP and XM works with on-premise and cloud services. We already talked about that. And the support API first. The XM Cloud supports the API first integration with composable DXP tools. So these are the differences between Sitecore XP XM and XM Cloud. So next question is, what is the pages application in Sitecore XM Cloud, and how does it differ from the experience editor in traditional Sitecore? So before answering this question, let us see what are the different applications Sitecore XM Cloud provides. So different interfaces provided by the Sitecore XM Cloud. The first one is a dashboard. So what is a dashboard? It's a central hub for managing projects and settings. So if you want to know what is projects, as I suggested earlier, that you may see the complete series on XM Cloud, which will clear out all the basic concept related to XM Cloud, the terminologies related to XM Cloud. The next application, pages. It's the same question it is asked. So pages is a drag and drop tool for creating and previewing the pages. So if you see, it's a similar what you do in the experience editor, but it's a new application in the Sitecore XM Cloud. Then you have a components. It's manage reusable page elements for consistency. Basically, you can create new components in the components interface. Then you have an explorer, and now this is similar to content editor. Navigate and organize the site content easily. Then we have a form, which is a regular form, build and track interactive user forms. And then you have a two legacy interfaces. It is also there, content editor and the experience editor. Now let's go into the question that what is the page application in Sitecore XM Cloud. So drag and drop tools for creating preview pages. So a page builder with a drag and drop functionality, allowing user to define layouts, add components and preview pages across design. So it is a tool where you can build your pages. So the important thing is it's a headless, it's SaaS based, it's a cloud native, and it decoupled the authoring. So that is what page application is. Now the second part of the question is, how does it differ from experience editor in traditional Sitecore? So let's see the difference between pages and the experience editor. First thing is modern UI. Pages offers a cleaner, more intuitive UI, reducing the learning curve for non-technical users, and that is very important. It's for the non-technical users, so it's more friendly, user friendly to the non-technical user. If you are not that much technical, then also you can utilize page very easily, and you can understand page application very easily to build the pages than the experience editor. Next one is a performance, and that is quite obvious because page application is headless and it is on the cloud also, so that adds the performance. So it will give you a much better performance result. It's much faster and smoother than the experience editor, and you must have used the experience editor. It is a bit slow and that sometimes frustrates also. So performance is a very critical in the pages. The third point is the basically a differentiation of a personalization, but the tool wise also it's a difference. So if you are using the pages, it's easier to integrate with a modern personalization tool like Sitecore Personalize. So you can utilize the Sitecore Personalize for personalization on the pages, whereas in the experience editor it is limited to older rule engine. So you must have done the rule based personalization in the experience editor, but in the pages you can do via the your composable product Sitecore Personalize. The fourth one is a preview accuracy. So with pages, what you see is truly what you get on the front end, thanks to real-time rendering of the Next.js front end. So it is pages is when you use it, you will feel that you are more close to the real world. So more close to your real page which is live, so that is more real, like you are actually updating your website. That feel your pages will do. The experience editor often lacks and doesn't reflect the final design accurately until it published. So there might be some questions or some gaps when you compare the experience editor with actual page. So these are the four key differences between experience editor and the page application in Sitecore XM Cloud. Now, what is a components application in Sitecore XM Cloud and how is it used? So here if you see components manage reusable page elements for consistency. So it is basically used to create a component. So let's see. The components application in Sitecore XM Cloud is a front-end as a service tool that allows users to create, manage, and style reusable components for building web pages. So what is the component here? Is first of all is a front end as a service. So you can create your front end by using this component tool. It allows you to create, manage, and style your reusable component, the component which you can use on a multiple places. That component can be created using component space. So it provides what you see is what you get editor, making it easy for content authors, UX designers, and marketers to collaborate efficiently. This tool is so easy that it's as an editor, which is what you see is what you get editor, which is so easy that the non-technical users also can utilize this and they can create their own component also. So how this component is used, or what are the features of this component? First is a reusable component. So you can build components once and use them across multiple pages for consistency. So if you created once, you can use it for multiple places. That is the first feature of this component application. Then second is a dynamic and static content. So it allows you to set a dynamic data source, okay, which will allow you to display a dynamic content, or at the same time you can utilize this to display the static content also. Third thing is the responsive design. So you can create components that adapts to the different screen sizes. So you can create a component with a multi-screen for a multiple screen sizes to support the responsive design. Then style guide integration. It ensures brand consistency by using predefined or a custom style. Drag and drop functionality. This is important that this tool, component application tool, provides you drag and drop functionality to design your component itself. So easily add components to pages in XM Cloud page builders. Collaboration. The teams can work in parallel to speed up the creation of a digital experience. It allows you to collaborate with a multiple team or multiple users also. So these are the features of a component application, or this is how you use the component application. Allows you to create a reusable component. It has a drag and drop functionality. You can set a dynamic and static content. It allows you to do a responsive design by selecting a different component for a different sizes. It allows you to ensure the brand consistency. Okay, let's see now the next question. What is the Explorer application inside Sitecore XM Cloud, and how does it differ from the content editor in traditional Sitecore? So here the Explorer is navigate and organize site content easily. So it's similar what content editor does. So what is the difference between them? That is the question. First of all, what is Explorer? The Explorer app is a clean and easy to use tool that helps you to find and manage your website content. So the goal is same what what content editor does and the Explorer does. So what is the difference now? Explorer is a clean, modern and simplified for everyday content editing, whereas a content editor is more like an admin tool. It's complex or packed with the features look like a traditional admin tool. So content editor has lot of features that compared to the Explorer. So Explorer is more cleaner and it's modern and it's easy to use. Explorer is a faster and smoother designed for a speed in the cloud, whereas content editor can be slow, especially when you will have a large content tree. More limited customization and focus on the ease of use. So Explorer is more focus is to how it is easy for a user to use it, whereas content editor you can customize it. It's highly customizable by developers. Explorer designed mainly for a marketers and content editors, so it's very important. That's more for a non-technical users, whereas content editors designed mainly for a super users, developers and admins. Explorer built for the new cloud-based headless Sitecore system, that is your XM Cloud, whereas content editor is basically a part of older monolithic system. So this is the difference between Explorer and content editor. The next question is, how do organizations, projects and environments work together to support a multi-team or enterprise content deployment workflow? These are the very important terminology or critical terminologies: organization, projects and environment. What are organization? What are projects and what are environments? Let's see that. First of all, how does the XM Cloud set up? First is the organization. Okay, then on top of organization we can have a multiple projects. Okay, and within the each project you can have an individual environment. So this is how the XM Cloud setup. You have organization on top, then you have projects within that organization, and every project will have its own environment setup, and that environment setup can be prod environment and non-prod environment. So let's see the definitions. First of all, the organization. So what is organization? Organization represents a business unit such as a company or a brand. Within Sitecore, it's a collection of your related members and Sitecore products to which you are subscribed. So basically a subscription. So you must have seen the tenant based application. Similarly, we have an organization here. So organization which takes the subscription. So that is your basically your company or a brand. So that is the organization. Now a project is a logical grouping of a XM Cloud environments. So each project can include several environments such as the development, testing and production environment. So every project is a separate one. So that is included in your organization. So project is a logical grouping of XM Cloud environments. Then comes the environment. An environment is an entity that holds a set of a configuration, code and implementation. So every environment has its own code, configurations and implementations. Let's take a real-time example. So we have an organization, Global Retail Corp. So Global Retail Corp has taken a XM Cloud license. Okay, so they have a subscription. Okay, so within that subscription they are having the two projects, they are having the two brands also, and every brand has their own website, and they are different from brand A and brand B are different. So brand A website, brand B website. Okay, like if you see PNG, you have a Head and Shoulder also, and the Pantene also. So those are two different brands, right? So similarly, your global retail corp can have a brand A website and brand B website. Okay, those are projects, and every project has its individual environment. So that is your non-prod environment as well as a prod environment. So you can have a development environment, staging environment, production environment. So that is how the real world example of an organization project and environment structure works. Now in this, so very important part is the deploy app, which is used for a which is used into have the deployment workflow. So what is deploy app? It includes a walkthrough of creating a project, a detailed log of every step of the deployment process, a status page, and a centralized location to manage your projects and environment. Now for XM Cloud deployment workflow, which is done by the deployment app, has a three steps. One is a provision, second is a build and deploy. So what this each stage does? First is the provision. It is setting up the environment in XM Cloud where your project will live. So wherever your project is going to live, to set up that you will use a provision. Now what are the activities which is done at the provision stage? Creating a new project under an organization. So you have an organization, within that you have to create a project, so that task can be done at the provision step. Setting up the environment, can set up the environment. Connecting the environment to your GitHub repo or a source control, that is also done with the provision. Then defining the hosting settings and host name for your app. So this is the first place where the environment is set up and provision is made. Okay, so second step is a build. Build basically compiles your front-end application and prepare it for the deployment. So you can relate this to CI/CD also. Okay, so it compiles now in CI/CD is like integration, continuous integration. It's compiled and it's built, right? So similarly here it builds it. Now what are the tasks it performs? It's running npm run build or similar to generate static asset and route data. It preparing the Sitecore rendering host file and creating a artifact, building a build artifact that can be deployed. So these are the activities which is done at the build stage. Then you have a deploy stage. In the deploy stage, it takes the build from a front end and deploy it to the specific environment. Like you have brand A website and you are doing a deployment, then it will deploy it on the specific environment. So maybe you are doing a development, so from the development branch it will go to development. So similarly it does the deployment. So what are the tasks here in the deployment stage? Uploading the built app to the rendering host, that is important. Assigning it to the correct environment. Ensuring it works with the Sitecore content via headless API. So these are the three steps in the XM Cloud deployment workflow: provision, build, and deploy. So these are the few basic interview questions related to Sitecore XM Cloud. We're going to continue on the same topic, Sitecore XM Cloud, in the upcoming videos. If you like this video, please click on a like button and do share this with your friends and colleagues. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel and click on notification bell to get latest update. I will meet you in next week. Till that time, happy coding, happy learning. Thank you.